Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the show, Tzuji's Medical Center in the Philippines is performing a strabismus surgery for a boy free of charge. As climate change has brought serious problems around the world, we take a look how it is affecting Taiwan's rice production. In today's feature reports on Taiwan's sunset trade, we visit Gukeng Township to see the making of handmade wooden bathtub. In Manila, Philippines, 9-year-old Jasper suffers from strabismus in his left eye. Apart from obstructing his learning, his classmates often make fun of him too. Under the recommendation of neighbors, Jasper's father brought him to Tzuji's Medical Center to undergo a surgery.
All the students are seated next to their friends in class, except for Jasper, who always sits in the front row.
He is a good student. I make him sit in the front, not because he isn't studious, but because he has an eye problem.
Jasper was born prematurely and later discovered to suffer from uratum septicemia candidemia. Although Jasper was treated in time, his left eye became squinted, and if his condition is not treated, there is a risk that his right eye will also be affected.
To operate on strabismus is incredibly expensive. The doctor told me that the cost of the operation is $2,050, and this is already the discounted cost.
Jasper's father is a factory worker, and for him, the cost of Jasper's operation is astronomical. Despite his learning disabilities, Jasper never once thought of giving up.
I want to continue with my education and complete my studies. I want to become a useful person for society.
Under the recommendation of their neighbors, Jasper and his father arrive at Tzuji's Medical Center. Seeing the consideration and kindness of the doctor, Jasper's father felt reassured enough to entrust his son to the doctor's care.
All those years of hard work was worthwhile. I never gave up because I wanted nothing more other than what is best for my son.
Because of the family's perseverance, Jasper is now able to continue on with his studies without difficulty, just like the rest of his classmates.
The Earth's atmosphere is made of good ozone and bad ozone. The good ozone protects us from ultraviolet radiation, while the bad ozone affects our breathing. Let's learn about how ozone affects our daily life.
Here in Taiwan, we're entering into the fall season, and the sun's rays have become softer, but it still can cause sunburns as the sun is still emitting ultraviolet radiation. How to block out these ultraviolet rays naturally? The ozone layer is your answer.
In our atmosphere, there's an atmospheric layer called stratosphere, which is 10 to 40 kilometers above the ground, which is where the ozone lies. The ozone layer, which is good ozone, is there to protect us from overexposure of UV rays.
Ozone is formed when ultraviolet rays split an oxygen molecule to form two single oxygen atoms. Then, when a freed atom collides with an oxygen molecule, it becomes ozone. In this process, the ozone layer acts as a large UV umbrella protecting our Earth. In these recent years, hearing about the hole in the ozone layer is not news anymore. But why does it have a hole?
There isn't really a hole in the ozone layer. It's that the ozone layer has thinned and depleted. In this condition, the sun's ultraviolet rays penetrate to the Earth more, increasing the chances for us to get skin cancer or the probability of contracting cataracts.
When ozone meets chlorofluorocarbon, an organic compound, it reacts in a way that reduces the ozone. Of course, this happens seasonally when the temperature is low and the sun's ray is not as powerful, like in Antarctica. The ozone layer inside the stratosphere protects us here on Earth, but at the same time, humans need to also protect the ozone layer, since without it, the consequences are quite grave.
In China, a print shop owner in Xiamen has brought eco-friendly concept into his workplace by encouraging employees to turn off their machines and computers after work. Surprisingly, although their business went up, their electricity usage actually went down. With printing machines working endlessly, every step costs money. With a slow economy, employers all want to save money.
In August, our business went up by 32% and electricity usage went down by 26%. Before, the machines were on 24 hours a day. Now, when we are off, we will turn off the computer and the machines.
Print shop owner Tang Weide introduced eco-friendly concepts into his workplace and has encouraged employees to live healthier lifestyle.
Before, we would just buy a drink or a bottle of water. However, with reusable utensils, we will just bring a cup.
Also practicing environmentalism is volunteer Wen Mingzhong and his family.
I used to use a lot of plastic bags. Now I will use reusable bags. If I need to use plastic bags, I will make sure to reuse it.
Wen Mingzhong's wife started to use time that was spent playing mahjong to make eco-friendly detergent instead, while Wen's mother and daughter have built a closer bond after practicing recycling.
Now, at mealtime, my granddaughter will say, "Grandma, let's eat." And if I didn't drink my milk yet, she will bring it to me. I am very happy there is a big change.
In 2009, Tzu Chi volunteers moved recycling times to the evening, giving many office workers and students a chance to participate as they spend time with their families. In Tong'an district of Xiamen City, 85-year-old Liu Kuai lives with her eldest son, who is blind, and her mentally handicapped granddaughter. After learning of their situation, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to help the family clean up their home.
It takes about 1.5 hours to travel from Xiamen to Tong'an district. Knowing that the Tzu Chi volunteers are visiting Grandma Liu Kuai today, the neighbors expresses empathy, hoping the volunteers will be able to bring some comfort to the family.
Her life is filled with so much hardship.
85-year-old Liu Kuai lives in this house built from clay and stones. She lives with her eldest son, who is blind, and her mentally disabled granddaughter. Here, next to the stove, is where the senior and her granddaughter sleep. The volunteers' care has not stopped. Liu's 15-year-old granddaughter is unable to take care of herself, as all her daily routines, from eating to drinking, all happen in this house. Despite the unpleasant odors, volunteers are not deterred.
Yes, there is a smell, but I feel blessed to serve others, so this does not really bother me.
From clothes to their bed sheets, everything is taken outside to be washed and cleaned. Tzu Chi volunteers brought with them hot water and cleaned the grandma and her granddaughter from head to toe, and even dressed them in new clothes as well.
Yes, I am. You are like daughters to me.
I am very, very happy indeed that all you brothers and sisters came to help.
As they say goodbye, Tzu Chi volunteers hand a big bag of food to Grandma Liu, promising to visit again. Happiness and joy is written all over her face.
Tzu Chi volunteers are really very kind-hearted, so unbelievably kind-hearted.
In Taiwan, climate change has brought a series of problems that are currently threatening Taiwan's crops. In our next report, we take a look at how over the past 2 years, climate change has brought unexpected changes and challenges to Taiwan's rice production.
With his entire field showing signs of the disease, Li Mingtang anxiously asked the director of the DaAi Agriculture Research Station to take a look.
With the rains unusually strong this year, the plants have signs of leaf blight, rice blast, and sheath blight. All of these will have a devastating impact on the amount harvest I get.
Li then takes us to visit another of his rice fields. Here too, rice blast has already started spreading, causing the rice grains to sprout too early.
这棵稻子的最后一片叶子。
This is the rice stalk's latest leaf. Here inside, it has already sprouted grains, although it is yet not mature. We farmers have to be optimistic. If this year is bad, we hope that next year will be better.
今年卖后当看会较好无啊？
The yellowing leaves are unable to carry out photosynthesis, thus affecting the overall harvest. Although farmers hope these diseases and pests will not reappear next year, but in truth, it is getting harder and harder to predict the weather.
In the past, we never heard of cases in which there was an outbreak of rice blast in the second stage of growth. But in the last 2 years, we have seen that this disease is becoming more prevalent in the second stage. This is probably due to the excessive rains, which spikes the humidity levels. Once a rice blast spore falls onto a rice stalk, all it takes is the right weather and humidity, and the rice leaves will start to show lesions. In more serious cases, those lesions will start to spread. As well, there's the brown plant hopper. This pest will be spread through typhoons. Those typhoons from the southwest will pass by the Philippines, Vietnam, or China's southern coast, and these pests will hitch a ride and land in Taiwan when the typhoon hits. In the past, Taiwan had very little problem with the brown plant hopper, but as recently we've had many typhoons, there's a chance they might have arrived on Taiwan's shores.
Changes to weather patterns have led to an increasing number of typhoons and more chances for pests to spread. High temperatures also can mean rice plants will not produce grains, but empty husks. Changes in temperature can make or break a harvest.
Over the last 2 years, we have found that in the germination stage of the first stage of the plant's life cycle, plants are being subject to low temperatures for longer periods of time, sometimes even until April. If these series show signs of infection, the lesions will appear here and move their way upward.
Currently, Taiwan's rice has no immunity against sheath blight. Therefore, at Taiwan's only experimental field, researchers are looking for the gene which can help the plant resist the pathogen. With global warming, diseases and pest outbreaks are becoming more common, and pesticides and fertilizers seems to make things worse.
Now farmers use more fertilizer than their plants actually need. That means that plants will grow too dense and have weak resistance. If the plants are too densely packed, there will be less airflow and higher level of humidity, making it easier for pests to appear. With weak resistance, when one plant gets infected, the disease will spread rapidly. Pests reproduce quickly, and as they do, their DNA and genes change and quickly produce immunity against pesticides.
Pesticides, like any medicine, need to be used with care and in moderation. In this age of extreme weather changes, farmers can now only helplessly watch as their farming methods of old are helpless against the problems that they face today.
In a feature report on Taiwan's fading trades, we go to Gukeng Township to meet 70-year-old Lu Haijun, who began learning the skill of making handmade wooden bathtub when he was just 12.
Arriving at Yunling's Gukeng Township, one is able to enjoy a sense of harmony offered by the nature. Coffee advertisement boards are an indication that the drink is the main source of income for many in the area.
Before coffee became popular among people here, I had already been planting coffee trees for more than a decade. I've seen the rise and fall of the wooden bathtub industry, and in times when business is not good, we plant coffee trees.
Lu Haijun not only plants coffee trees, but is also a wooden bathtub maker. Having grown up surrounded by bathtubs, Lu began learning the craft when he was only 12. Nearly 6 decades later, the senior artisan devotes himself to growing coffee beans in order to keep his family business going. Selected wood is first cut into planks before the craftsman uses a plane to smooth out their surface.
When we are combining two planks together, we need to make sure the surface is smooth and level and at the right angle so no water will leak through.
The planing work helps give the wooden pieces a sleek and elegant look. However, behind the seemingly simple task is danger. Lu Haijun shows a section of his left index finger that was chopped off.
I was rushing and removed the bolt, and my finger got cut from the ankle down to my palm. The knife was turning at 360 degrees, so it's easy to get cut.
The bathtub making master smiles and says that occupational injuries happen all the time, and thus the injury is a reminder for him to be more cautious when working.
We need to measure this and calculate the circumference of the bucket. For example, if the diameter is 60 centimeters, we need to calculate the angles from 3 directions.
The artisan first calculates the angle at which each wooded board must put together, and then punches holes to assemble the bathtub using wooden pegs.
With good skills and smooth and leveled wood at the right angles, we can make good tubs that do not leak.
A wooden bathtub takes almost 2 days to complete. Lu Haijun, who was known for his talented craft, had many apprentices come to learn from him. However, Lu has not taken in any students for over 10 years.
If someone wants to learn, they will learn it. If not, one generation will pass it on to the next. Nowadays, technology is so advanced, people will come up with their own developments, so we just go with the flow.
Knowing that there is a rise and fall to each industry and that fewer people use wooden bathtubs today, this craftsman has made peace with these changes. A master in wooden bathtubs and also an expert in coffee planting, Lu Haijun, in his own way, is preserving the traditional culture for future generations.
In a continuing report on Taiwan's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award, today we take a look at the story of American-born Taiwanese Yang Jinglun. Yang's comic book, American-Born Chinese, won a gold medal at the Michael L. Prince Award and was even translated into 15 languages. Here's more.
Holding a pencil is Yang Jinlun, who in no time has drawn the Monkey King, who is the main character in his comic, American-Born Chinese. The comic won him a gold medal at the Michael Prince Awards and a place among Taiwan's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Awards.
I had a friend in 5th grade named Jeremy Kunioshi, and he had already been collecting comics for a long time. So after he found out that I was interested in comics as well, we started drawing comics together.
In the United States, Yang has appeared on magazines and newspapers as he is the only comic artist nominated by the National Book Award in 50 years.
I feel very, very surprised, very honored, and very humbled. Like I said before, I always thought of this as a hobby.
Since young, American-born Yang Jinlun has had a passion for drawing, and with parents coming from Taiwan, Yang has incorporated the experiences his parents encountered in the United States into his drawings. His comics soon won the hearts of American teenagers.
I have heard from non-Asian friends that they never thought about the experience of of being an Asian American until they read that book. They didn't know what it was like to be an Asian American. So in that way, I think it it opens some doors.
As one of the winners of this year's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award, Yang Jinlun followed his father and returned to Taiwan to find his roots. Thanks to Yang, Taiwanese culture found its way into the United States.
In Taiwan, the World Peace Association started the Milk Carton Piggy Bank program to encourage young people to donate money to help others. A pair of sisters and their grandfather, who have received help from the association before, have started to save money to help those in need too.
The volunteer teacher explains every question thoroughly so that the two sisters fully understand the question. Since their parents divorced, they have fallen behind in their schoolwork. Thankfully, the World Peace Association has an after-school tutoring program. To show his appreciation, their grandfather started to volunteer.
They are very friendly here. It's not like an organization at all. It is like home. This is like your own home.
Although they don't have much, the senior instills in his granddaughters the message of helping out others when they can. When the two sisters heard about the Milk Carton Piggy Bank program to help other children, they knew they had a chance to help.
Before, I would buy a beverage with my breakfast, but now I don't. Instead, I save that money in the piggy bank.
Why do I want to save money in the Milk Carton Piggy Bank? Because I want to help others.
Besides feeding a child in need, the Milk Carton Piggy Bank program also hopes to encourage young ones to join in the charitable spirit.
To help students in the Rangu-Rango Elementary School in Zimbabwe, Tzu students in Taiwan have begun saving their pocket money to buy stationery for them and even taken to the street to encourage the public to make donations as well.
During the holidays, Tzu University students ask every passerby to donate their unused stationery. Students at the Rangu-Rango Elementary School in Zimbabwe used to have classes outdoors. Though they have fewer resources, it has not kept them from learning. Their story inspired Tzu students to launch a stationery donation campaign.
I don't use them anymore, so I can give them to others.
Some parents take their children to buy new stationery for the students in Zimbabwe.
Our kids are happy when we buy them new stationery, so I believe when those students receive them, they will be happy too.
Tzu students have now collected over 5,000 pieces of stationery. They also send words of encouragement to the students in Zimbabwe.
Donating stationery was not that difficult. We didn't have to spend much money to help those kids in Zimbabwe.
As Tzu students save money to help those in Zimbabwe, there will be more people inspired to join the effort.
At the end of the show, we stay in Taiwan, where Tzu volunteers in Sanchong Tzu grounds have been packing second-hand clothes that will be given to the needy people in Syria. The volunteers hope to gather the clothes as soon as possible so they can distribute it to the people before the harsh winter comes. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.